Zero War Issue 4, let's go through every page and the storyline and the hidden secrets. Which in the last issue, in issue 3, we saw Dr. Doom stealing the Zero Shard going in the Ice Moon, while our heroes like Imagine, Jones and Spider-Man followed him to there. Now we start issue 3 with seeing everyone in the Ice Moon at Reality Zero. Shuri is like, where the hell am I? Why is it so cold? They all realize how thanks to Thor and a storm, the Ice Moon is way less colder than it should be, so they can survive. But just for even more help, Imagine reveals yet another feature of the 7 suits, which is actually a force field. They find an ice castle under like a lot of snow, which is not the same castle as like the Polar Peak one. That one got destroyed in the live event, so Polar Peak was just like a small fraction of the Ice King's castle. This man rich! Then they find a hole on the castle's wall, which was caused by the Antarctic Vibranium Zero Shard. Because yes, Antarctic Vibranium actually melts metallic things or even vibranium itself. So they go inside trying to find Doom. And this is where the interesting part starts. There are many deadly creatures kept in ice frozen so they cannot harm anyone. Kind of like a collection of deadly creatures. These creatures were captured by the Ice King, and I wonder if Fortnite will ever like introduce more of these monsters like the Devour one inside of the game itself. And a bit further away they find the Ice King from season 9. And as Jones explains here, Ice King kinda just went gone suddenly. Seems like just like how we had no clue what happened to the Ice King and Fire King in the end of season 8 chapter 1, the Imagine Order had no clue either. And Jones explains how the Ice King fought the Fire King in like season 9, which led to the monster getting freed. Yet another one of the Ice King's deadly creature collections, seems like he was. Did I just talk like Yoda?
What weapon does a fat Jedi use?
Jones wonders if the Ice King is alive or not, and while walking he just steps on like a trap button, which that kind of like wakes up a projectile of the Ice King, which does look really similar to the one from season 7, so seems like the Ice King can like create projectiles of himself, which is really cool. Ice King explains how he once had many names. Maybe one of the other possible names might be related to like water, because we know that Ice King kind of is related to controlling both water and ice. But seems like Ice King turned everything frozen just to make sure these deadly creatures cannot wake up, collecting dangerous beings that he thinks should not exist. That thing looks like the grandfather of Corona or something, so I do agree with him. What the hell is that? Now the most interesting part. Ice King's most loyal comrade argues with him that they should use these items and monsters that the Ice King has collected to alternate realities to their liking. And who do you think that sounds like? Geno! Ice King also says how he brought his whole damn Ice Moon to the Zero reality and freezed everything in it. And while sleeping forever in it, just to make sure no one can have access to these dangerous beings like ever. By the way, the sleeping and everything that the Ice King is talking about right now, all of these happened before season 7 chapter 1. Because right here Ice King explains how he fell into the island because of a huge cosmic storm lightning. That I bet this lightning hit the Ice Moon because of the cube destruction in season 6. The cube's destruction shattered the polar peak part of the Ice Moon, making it fall into the water of the Zero reality, while the Ice King was asleep inside of it. And I really feel like the cube did that on purpose, since like we know that the Cube Queen controls all of these cubes. Maybe the Cube Queen wanted the Devourer to fall into the island and take over the 0 point, destroying the world. I mean, once again, Cube Queen does say that everything we know is actually part of her game, so I really think all of this was caused by the Cube Queen. Now here the Ice King explains how the ice melting after Polar Peak reached the island was the reason that made him wake up. We even have a loading screen in season 7 showing Ice King waking up. Now here the Ice King explains how the only reason why in season 8 he fought the Fire King was because the Fire King, with how like hot he is and his love and everything, it was waking up the Devourer. And here we finally get answers to what happened to the Fire King. Seems like once again the Ice King froze the Fire King under the water of the Zero reality. Which this exactly happened when season 8 ended with like the volcano eruption and everything. That was actually Ice King and Fire King fighting each other. Ice King seems like he won the war, but it was way too late because Fire King like struck Polar Peak, which that lava caused the monster to wake up. But wait a minute, if the Fire King is frozen underwater of Zero reality, there is a high chance that the Ayo have taken him into the prison after this war. And there is also this burning secret room that used to be in the bridge. And the Fire King's picture was in the Ayo's room for the Ayo agents to like try to figure out who this guy is. So I actually really feel like after this moment, Ayo found and now they have the Fire King in their prison. Ice King explains how even though the Devourer, one of his scariest monsters collection, broke free, thankfully it was actually killed by Paradigm's mech. And yeah, that Devourer is looking like a damn T-Rex. This I have here is because the artist of the Zero War in this part of the comic was changed and they did not have like all the information about what the hell is happening or all the detail of how everything looks. I mean, honestly, whoever is mad at this, go touch some grass or get some maidens. And now that the Ice King explains how he failed to keep the Devourer from escaping and he can't ever allow that to happen again. So after season 8, he returned to the Ice Moon and made it cold as hell, to the point that no one would be able to stay in it alive. But yes, this does mean that the Ice Moon has been so cold to the point that all of these scary monsters and creatures in it have like died. And the fun part begins. Ice King is like, everything I just explained was to be like, how the hell did you all manage to come here? You dangerous beings! I mean, like, how can you call Jones dangerous, Ice King? Look at his brain! How that can be dangerous? No way! Then Ice King is like, haha! Time to turn all of you into my collection as well! Die! Yeah, I had the same reaction as a Spider-Man. Ice King is kinda dumb. So the world of the Ice Moon seems to be getting even colder for everyone to freeze to death. So Shuri is right, time to run and find Doom. Imagine now contacts Foundation and Foundation says this. The hell you in middle of something? Imagine needs you! Now here we see how the Seven have finished rebuilding the mech bear. And this reveals something really interesting. The revealing is from the drift hand of the mech, which was never reused. But somehow it's here in the comics. Seems like in the past, the plan for the storyline was for the Seven to take the hand in the ocean and reuse it for the mech. But from what we saw last season happen in game, the Seven just built a new hand for the mech in honor of like their rockets. So once again, yes, this is a mistake from Zero War and this hand should not be there. But these comics were drawn and written before the collision event even happened. Foundation says how rebuilding the mech is going well, but they need the Zero Shard to power it up. Iron Man from the side is like, did they get the Zero Shard? And I agree with Foundation on this one. Also, this whole mech and Foundation drawing looks so epic. I love it. Imagine tells Foundation that everyone need to leave the Ice Moon because as you remember, Ice King is like trying to freeze everyone that exists on the Ice Moon. So like, you better leave. While Imagine is talking, kachoom! Did I say that right? I don't know. Doom blasts through a monster with his laser gun. That poor monster, I feel so bad. But man, does he look sick! What is that shield? What is that robot? That gun? What? I'm using like a beheaded chicken that do not know yet they're dead. Is that an actual thing? That's so creepy. And now we get a sick fighting scene with Doom being like, die! And wait, one of the weapons Dr. Doom is using is actually the same one as like the Wolverine freeze from one of the Ice King's collection. So seems like all of these weapons being used right now are actually from the collection of the Ice King, things he like took and like froze for his collection and all. We better see these in game, they look insane. John using this super cool weapon is like time 2. How the hell does this gun even work? Shuri explains how Doom knows how to use these weapons because he's like, damn Doom, he's like the smartest thing ever, he's a mega big brain. But imagine and Shuri break new Doom weapons and one of them actually turned into the blue cubes. Very interesting. Because I really think that whoever is immortal in the game's story turns to those like blue small cubes. So maybe that robot, that thing was actually alive and after death because it was like immortal, it turned to that. And since the death animation is the same one as like in the island, did the Ice King take that thing from Geno? What is the relationship with Geno and Ice King? I'm really interested in that. Spider-Man steals Dr. Doom's shield, making him even more pissed than Ninja when he dies in a game because of a skill issue. And Doom finally figures out how to use the Zero Shard, the power of the creation from the 0 point. Somehow Doom uses that to manipulate all the weapons, making them hover and attack everyone. I really wanna know how that power of the 0 point works and if anyone else in the game's story can do that. Maybe Geno? Maybe? And now Shuri does a really big brain move which I didn't really understand it well, but it's like basically make Doom go like owie. When a Spider-Man uses the moment to steal back the Zero Shard, making Doom go, no. Return my spaghetti! I'm sorry.
Spaghetti!
Imagine he's like able to take that blast into the face like it's nothing. If she is that strong, just imagine how powerful her father Geno is. I'm scared. Spider-Man tries to send the Zero Shard to charge the mech, but Doom says how Spider-Man will die right away from this cold. And BAM! Another huge laser beam. Poor Spider-Man probably feeling death from cold. And while that's happening, others try to attack Doom. But this happens. Oh my god, cooked Wolverine, my favorite. Doom here is able to defeat everyone and try to even kill them because as I said, yeah, my man Doom is like really strong. But the Spider-Man succeeded in reaching the mech and used the Zero Shard to charge the mech up. So they use the mech to save Imagine and fight against Doom. Basically, this shows us how Doom failed in his mission to stop the Seven from reviving the mech and everything, so now he goes back to the Zero reality, helping the IO with the collider. And Imagine sees Paradigm for the first time. Paradigm and Spider-Man seems to be the only people inside of the mech, and everyone else like Foundation and Imagine, all of them seems to be in like the ship that Foundation used to come inside of the Ice Moon. And they're gonna be in there trying to go back to the Zero reality. And at this moment, Paradigm destroys the Ice Castle. But don't worry, all the monsters in that place are already dead. My only issue is that what exactly happens at that moment to the Ice King? I really feel like this probably is gonna piss off the Ice King like really bad, ruining his collection. So because of this, the Ice King will return to the game's story for revenge. And since I really feel like Ayo have the Fire King in their prison as well, there is him still out there too. So this comic confirms that there is still a big chance for an elemental war happening. So therefore, if the Zero War issue 5 comes and you select the classic design of the mech instead of the 7 design in the collision event, that is because the plans for the collision event were changed after these comics were already drawn. So just enjoy the issue 5 when it's out and just stop caring about such minor details. Just forget everything unneeded, read it, have fun and enjoy.